That is right, we are making a spine for a fingerboard today. You know, like a spine? Yeah, we're making that. If you've ever been to a skate park before, it likely has a spine. And no, I'm not talking about a spine like this, I'm talking about a spine. Basically, you have two jumps, they go up, they meet, and then they have like a top, I guess that's why it's called a spine. They go up, and they have a spine that goes across. Usually made out of metal, and there's coping on each side. So anyways, we are going to be replicating that for a fingerboard. So the materials we are using for this project are quite simple. Here we have some cardstock. This is basically just thick paper. And here we have foam board. And quite a few people in the comments always make fun of how I say foam board. So for today's video, instead of calling it foam board, I'm gonna call it polystyrene slabs. Because in Australia, they say polystyrene. So I am in Canada, so that's kind of close enough. And also people say I say board weird, like, you know, board. So I'll call it slabs. So here we have some polystyrene slabs, and we are basically just going to be cutting out the shape on here, and then we'll be ready to put some paper over it. You'll see exactly how this works. So what I'm going to do now is take this thing called a pencil. You might not have one, but this is called a pencil. And basically, I'm gonna take this pencil and trace on what our spine is gonna look like onto our polystyrene slabs. So we now have a line drawn on here. So now we are ready to cut it out. And to cut this out, we are gonna be using that. So we have the first piece cut out, and we need to make one more. So we are going to take our pencil, trace this onto another piece of polystyrene slab. I guess I'll just call it foam board at this point. So once we have that traced onto the foam board, then we'll use this again. We have this traced on now, so now time to cut it out. So we now have these two pieces cut out. So now what we need to do are make little pieces that fit in between each piece. We're gonna make it about as long as this pencil, a little bit longer, but then it'll sit in like that. And then we'll just make about 10 more of those. So what I'm gonna do is just cut out a little template piece, so then I can use the paper piece, trace it onto our polystyrene slab, and then we'll be ready to cut all of the pieces out. And now I'm gonna start saying foam board because saying polystyrene slab is just getting a little bit hard to say. So I'll just call it foam board. Okay, so now if you have done everything correctly, you should have two pieces that look like this and numerous pieces that are like this. It honestly doesn't matter how many of these you make, you'll see what I'm gonna do with them here in a sec, but basically it doesn't really matter how many you use as long as it works for however big you are making your spine. Say if you're making a smaller spine, you might want to make less of these. If you're making a really big spine, you'll need a lot of these. I kind of just have it a nice good size. In comparison, this is a fingerboard. Perfect. And now is the time. You'll need to bring out your hot glue gun because we need to glue these to the sides of this. And also, however long these are is how far apart your feature is. So my spine is going to be a nice wide spine. It's always so annoying when you have a hot glue string. See that? Pain. My hot glue gun has been on for a long time, so the glue is all kind of yellow and like, yeah. So it'll get out of its system pretty soon. So the first piece is in place right now, and now we are going to glue this to the other side, and then we will be ready to continue. So I ran out of these. This is what it's looking like so far. Very solid design, but I'm out of these. This is my last one. Actually, I do have another one. So I only have 2 left, so I'm gonna cut some more. So our spine is looking very good. This is what it looks like so far. And I have this piece, and this is gonna be glued right on top like that. Because right here, we just have a hollow space and we don't really want that. So I'm gonna glue this on and then it'll just cover that. So our spine is almost complete, and all we need to do now is put some cardstock over top of this. I somehow made this the perfect width from my paper, which is like this. It fits like perfectly on it. There's like not even any going off to the side. I'm very happy that that lines up perfect. I could not have planned that any better. So right now is probably the hardest part of this whole process, and that is basically just hot gluing the paper on. It's actually not even that difficult. About the hardest part is just getting your hot glue and paper on nice and quick, or else your hot glue is gonna cool a little bit too much, and right when you try to push the paper on, it's gonna have like a line across it, like a ridge kind of just popping out of the paper, and you don't want to be fingerboarding on kind of like a bumpy surface. So just right when you get the nice hot glue on, just lay the paper on. And the first piece is on just like that. That is just the top piece. We still need to glue the rest down because you don't really want all this like that all the time. So I tend to not put hot glue on kind of like ribs, I guess you could call them. I normally just put hot glue all along the side on each side, and that holds it in place quite well. And just like that, that is on there. So don't worry about gluing on the ribs. All you really need is just all across the top, like right there. And then all you need to worry about are the sides. So very simple. So the spine is now completely done. We have the paper on both sides now, and this is just foam board on top. So I'm really happy with how this looks and how it's gonna feel. So there's only one thing left to do now, and that is to ride it. Anytime you have an obstacle or feature with paper on it, it is so smooth. Like compared to just wood, it is a lot more smooth. So paper is actually one of the best things you can use for this. Even though it's not super durable, it is very smooth. So as always, right when I build a new feature, it always takes time to get used to it, but I love how this feels. So there you go, that's how you can make a do-it-yourself fingerboard spine. And if you've never made a fingerboard obstacle before, this technique is a really good one to learn because you can make some very fun obstacles for very cheap and very easy. You saw how easy it is. All you need to do is just make the piece, put some ribs on the inside, put paper over top, and that is it. And yes, you are able to just use paper on this. I just prefer to use cardstock because it is a little bit more firm and quite a bit more durable. Also, something you can do is put numerous layers of paper over top. That just makes it more durable because if your board falls from like a high height, like right in between some of the ribs, there's a chance it can blow like a little bit of a hole in the paper, but it's still gonna be pretty tough. And the more ribs you put in place, the more durable it is gonna be. So there you go, that's how to make a fingerboard spine. If you watch my fingerboard videos, you may as well hit the subscribe button because I post a fingerboard video every Friday and it is Fingerboard Friday. And sometimes I also post fingerboard videos on Monday. Thanks for watching today's video. Hit the subscribe button down there if you want to see more fingerboard content. That is coming soon. One video up there, and there is, of course, another one right down there. Social media links are in the description below, and I will see you in my next video.